Ante Budimir has spent 5 seasons at Osasuna. Throughout his career, the Croatian striker had been a complete non-factor at St. Pauli, at Crotone, at Sampdoria. But he clearly improved at Mallorca, and in Pamplona he stole in the spotlight, becoming one of the most efficient scorers in La Liga, especially this past season, where he scored 21 goals, only behind Kylian Mbappe and Robert Lewandowski, in the race for the Pichichi. The only reason a top team hasn't signed him is because Budimir is already 34 years old, so he's more likely headed to Turkish football. Unless the rumors are true and Xabi Alonso turns him into the new Joselu, if he has mercy, please don't make him take penalties. Mattias Cagney is 30 years old and has only ever played for 2 teams, Lazio and previously Verona. The hero who scored the last-minute goal that eliminated Croatia in the last Euros is a practical guy, with no bigger ambition than to feel valued. He could have gone to Juventus last summer, but surprisingly rejected the offer from the Italian giant and chose to stay at Lazio, where he feels like a special player, not just another name in the mix, as he likely will be right now at Juve. Morgan Gibbs-White has spent his entire career at smaller clubs. The brilliant 25-year-old midfielder passed through Wolverhampton, Swansea, Sheffield United and finally settled at Nottingham Forest, where he's totaled 17 goals and 28 assists over 3 seasons. The latest one, a massive success, led by the now team captain and veteran scorer Chris Wood. This summer a big money transfer is expected, finally giving Gibbs-White a shot at a Premier League giant. Manchester City showed interest but found the price too steep. Arsenal and Liverpool now seem like the top bidders. First it was Wilfried Zaha, then Michael Olise, and now it's Eberechi Eze. Crystal Palace may not be elite, but they always manage to have at least one player whose talent deserves a bigger stage. Eze has always been good, but never as good as this past season, where he tallied 14 goals and 11 assists, including the most important goal in Palace history, the game winner in the FA Cup final against Manchester City. He's under contract until 2027, with an 80 million release clause. Rumor has it Tottenham Hotspur is ready to pay it, so Eze can make his Champions League debut at 27 years old. Stuttgart is not a top club, but it has several players who won't be around much longer. Left back Maximilian Mittelstadt, playmaker Enzo Millet, striker Nick Woltemat, and especially one of the most underrated players in the world, defensive midfielder Angelo Stiller. His face and his club may not draw much attention, but his flawless way of playing, winning back possession in bulk and never losing the ball, should. With 13 goals and 7 assists this past season at Bournemouth, Antoine Semenyo established himself at age 25 as a star whose market value has skyrocketed. Sadly, teams like Bournemouth can't keep hold on truly elite players. Just ask Dean Huijsen or now Semenyo, who after 2.5 years on the south coast of England is now eyeing a move up north to London. At West Ham United, several top players are clearly too good for the club. Lucas Paquetá, for example, but also club captain Jarrod Bowen, and especially the third best dribbler on the planet, Mohammed Kudus. The ultra-talented Ghanaian midfielder has no intention of wasting his prime years at the London Olympic Stadium. He recently rejected a move to Saudi Arabia and looks set to become Chelsea's next biggest star. Brighton and Hove Albion is not a top club, but it's a place where top players flourish. Ben White, Leandro Trossard, Alexis McAllister, Marc Cucurella, Moises Caicedo, Levi Colwill, Robert Sanchez, and now, waiting his turn, Kaoru Mitoma. The Japanese left winger, a dribbling expert, is already 28. This is his moment, before it becomes too late. Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen and Bayern Munich are the three most likely destinations. Riccardo Orsolini is also 28, though he plays as a right winger cutting inside. He's been Bologna's star since 2018, but only gained international recognition in 2024 after helping the team qualify for the Champions League, and again in 2025 with their historic Coppa Italia win. Orsolini just had the best season of his career, 15 goals and 5 assists in Serie A. But at this point, the now legendary captain has no interest in offers from Milan or Napoli. Nothing makes him happier than continuing to make history with Bologna. If Arsenal can land Mitoma, their backup option is Igor Paixão. The 24-year-old Brazilian has spent 3 seasons in Rotterdam, and even though Feyenoord had a dreadful season, Paixão was named Eredivisie Player of the Year in 2024-2025. That makes it clear, the Dutch League, and Feyenoord in particular, are no longer enough for him. Athletic Club is a special team, one that's not easy to leave. But players like Oyhan Sunset need to move on if they want to be more than just local legends. Last season confirmed everything we suspected about the skillful, graceful, and now deadly midfielder, who scored 15 goals in the 2024-2025 La Liga campaign. And that's with several weeks out injured. His numbers might have taken a hit, but not the idea that Sunset is ready to play for any club in the world. Still, he'll likely stay at Athletic, a club that, because of its tradition, has limited ways to strengthen for the Champions League. What it can do, though, is try to keep its few true stars. In theory, the best left back in the Premier League shouldn't play for Fulham, nor be American. But Anthony Robinson is both, a US international and Fulham's standout performer. Actually, Robinson was born and raised in England, and if he hadn't rushed into accepting the US call-up, he'd likely be a starter for Thomas Tuchel England. At 27, Robinson just completed the best season of his career with 10 assists, more than any other defender. And unlike many fullbacks, his best trait is defending. He'll undergo knee surgery this summer, which will likely delay any move away from Fulham, but he's clearly ready for a step up. It's not that Mason Greenwood and Adrien Rabiot are too good for a club like Olympique Marseille. It's that Marseille needs 9 more players at their level to seriously compete with PSG. And clearly, they're alone. Still, their arrival turned out to be great business. Rabiot chipped in with 9 goals and 5 assists in Ligue 1, while Greenwood bagged 21, finishing joint top scorer alongside Ousmane Dembélé. Bryan Mbeumo is 25 years old, plays as a right winger for Brentford, and this season he exploded with 20 goals and 8 assists in the Premier League, the 3rd most productive players in the best league in the world, and he plays for Brentford. The Cameroonian has been with the Bees for 6 seasons now, and given his insane development, that's already more than enough. The problem is, his most likely destination seems to be that graveyard of dreams called Manchester United. And since we know what's coming if he goes there, Maybe it's better if he just stays at Brentford. Álex Baena has spent 3 seasons with Villarreal's first team, contributing 26 goals and 35 assists, an average of 20 direct goal involvements per year, numbers that clearly belong to a top player. The 23-year-old Spanish midfielder is one of the most creative players in the world, and ironically, he continues flying under the radar, simply because he wears yellow. But now, he's about to leave through the same door he entered at age 10. Baena could and should be playing for Atletico de Madrid next season. And speaking of creative players, no one compares to Ryan Cherky, a Champions League level footballer slowly simmered in Lions' expert kitchen. The brilliant attacking midfielder is just 21, but he debuted way back in 2019. There were so many expectations placed on him that by last year he seemed like a lost cause. But this season, Cherky finally broke out with 12 goals and 20 assists, earning a memorable debut for France's senior team, with a goal and an assist, no less against Spain. Even though France lost that Nations League semi-final, his price skyrocketed. He was already set for Manchester City, but now if they still want him, they'll have to pay more. In 2020, Luka Jovic and Sebastian Haller. In 2021, Ante Budimir. In 2022, Andrés Silva. In 2024, Randall Colomwani. In 2025, Omar Marmoush. In just 5 years, Eintracht Frankfurt has made over 300 million from selling their strikers. And the next big money move, without question, is Hugo Ekitike. The elegant, lanky 22-year-old former PSG forward continues the club's tradition of always finding the perfect replacement for their last major sale. And Ekitike may be the most expensive yet. Chelsea is reportedly ready to pay 100 million euros for the French star. Athletic Club is a big team, a legendary club, and a one-of-a-kind institution. What it's not, however, is a top team. And yet, it's managed to hold on to a player of elite quality. If it weren't for the emotional and family ties that bind him to the club, Nico Williams would have left San Mamés long ago. Nico is about to turn 23, and it seems like now is finally the time for him to make the leap. But who knows? Arsenal, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid are all working to land the Spanish winger at the top level. Across all official competitions in the 2023-2024 season, the then unknown Viktor Gyökeres scored a staggering 45 goals. But, unlike usual, Sporting Portugal didn't sell him right away. They gambled on him maintaining his production another year, hoping to preserve his market value through 2025. And honestly, Sporting miscalculated. Gyökeres not only repeated his insane stats, he smashed them, with a total of 66 goals between August 2024 and May 2025. Now, his move to Manchester United is imminent. Gyökeres is 27 and faces the small challenge of becoming United's first truly worthwhile signing since Chicharito Hernández? It's a bit hard to explain, but a year ago Victor Osimhen ended up at the last minute at Galatasaray. In short, Napoli pushed negotiations too far and broke off talks with Manchester United, PSG and Chelsea, who all felt his price was too high, especially given the off-field issues surrounding him at Napoli. Al Hilal was ready to pay what Aurelio De Laurentiis demanded, But Osimhen refused to go to Saudi Arabia. Liverpool nearly signed him on deadline day, but wouldn't meet his 30 million euros annual salary demand. When the transfer window closed, Osimhen had two choices: stay at Napoli and not play, or go to Galatasaray on loan. He chose the second option and, far from losing value, responded to the love of Turkish fans by winning the league title, the Turkish Cup, the Golden Boot, and MVP of the Super League. Osimhen scored 37 goals and provided 8 assists in 41 matches, on loan to a Galatasaray team that was simply too small for him.